Hello, good morning, and welcome to Perpetuum once again. The video is recorded now, I hope it. For the development of the free energy motor, for infinite energy, for the reforestation of the world, for the for wealth for everyone, for this alternative physics, to extend the physics which is taught in the school by a new hyperspace for a mathematics of 4 dimensions. And therefore I need the help of mathematics and physicists to modify a deeper formulation of the general relativity theory and all the quantummechanical mathematics to save the data and save the mathematics in the world, because I will die one day and all my information on my computers are neglected, denied, and I have lost everything, and this is why I do all these things here. But I do not complain, because complainations are not so sexy. So what I'm doing now. So I have stopped with the Heisenberg uncertainty relation. I will be a little bit faster now. And you have seen that I have extended the Heisenberg uncertainty relation by filling with the relativistic energies, relativistic space contraction, and the relativistic momentum dilatation to this angular momentum, which belongs to all the physical optical properties of light regarding fine structure forming, like diffraction, the redshift, blue shift for the hyperstructure, hyperstructure forming, to all the things which belong to light, and these are in this term, and in this term here below there is a pi, which is variable and depends on the probabilities and as artificial working tool in quantum physics, but it depends also on another term that we will see later for the hyperspace. This substitutes this term as natural property of the hyperspace, depending on coupling constants, the group velocity, and the Weinberg angle. But I want to explain first here what happens here. We must come on the universal force FU, which is derived from the formula of everything. And this has in time direction a constant value. And this constant value you can see also on my webpage, on which are all the documents which are necessary to understand this physics here, bubble mechanics. So to come on this value, we multiply it with a heat entropy and a work entropy. The heat entropy is Q by T for the zero singularity, where is the experimental physics, and the SW is the perpetuum mobile entropy that decreases always in the nature, while this increases always in the nature, in the natural physics. So this is also this value is the inverse of the Boltzmann constant, which is also which is in the Hawking law on the right side. Hawking has found out this value also because Stephen Hawking Bekenstein and Hawking comes from the Bekenstein-Hawking equation, and this is sorry, this is wrong. Sorry, I made something wrong. It's wrong. Here, these both are also filled, and we get here the total entropy. And the total entropy is also the Bekenstein-Hawking entropy for the hyperspace. Hawking and Bekenstein found this out in their investigations of black holes. Okay, we multiply the other side also by this value. This has the advantage in this alternative physics for the artists, girls which I love, to understand that I don't want to build atomic bombs, because some people think physics interests people who also want to build atomic bombs. Now I don't want to build a free energy motor based on force, which is not cannot be used for weapons. So simply because weapons, okay, you can teleport a stone in the on a high level, let it fall, and it falls on the head, then it's a weapon. Okay, but it's mostly used for the free energy technology. And atomic bombs were built by people who wanted to use war as a possibility to prevent war. This is the wrong view. And for example, Richard Feynman and Oppenheimer have thought the same. But this is a spiritual aspect, how a person can think this on it. Okay, it's a political thing. But physicists want to rescue the world, and they don't want to destroy the world. Military persons do want to destroy the world. Okay, let's look. This value is now constant in time direction, and if the scaling of the space-time depending on the location in the space and the gravitational field gets lower, then this value gets higher, and this product gets also higher. This product gets also higher, and then the entropy product here decreases to get this value constant. Okay, this is what I want to explain in time direction. In space direction, it is also variable. Then it gets more complicated in the four main equations for quantum gravity, which is an equation that combines all four interactions: the gravitational, the electromagnetic, the weak, and the strong interaction for the hyperspace. And from this equation, all the physics which is taught in the school is already again derived, but not by this equation. It is already done in this physics, and we connect it only with this to get the Perpetuum motor. Okay, let's look further. What am I doing here? Okay, we have here the entropies. I want to explain you a little bit about time dilatation and relativity theory first. Okay. Therefore, I have to be fast again. I take now another color. Okay, I don't want to come over 15 minutes. It's the 5th trial today. Okay, I'll be fast. The circle square says now the following. Each object has always light velocity, but also another velocity, as we know. Phenomenological, it has always a certain velocity v, and natural in the hyperspace also the light velocity. This is the fourth space dimension. It is imaginary because superstrings are imaginary numbers as derivations of space lengths regarding to parity, which are the axes here also. So let's look. Each object has light velocity and has here this is the space, three-dimensional space, x, y, and z. We can calculate it in the space with S0 singularity, and this is one singularity. Here we have V, and we transformate between both over quantum electrodynamics for the hyperspace. Okay, here we have. I want to show that people understand. I want to show it here because people should understand that it's possible to modify the whole mathematics. Okay, as more an object gets light velocity, as narrower gets this arrow here. And here this is the verticality, and this is the verticality deficiency. This is a space contraction calculated by the Lorentz transformation. And this value here is the inverse space contraction. And this is asymptotical free distance. Okay. Asymptotical free distance is this here. Okay. This means, and this is the distance that is not as asymptotical free here. So imagine now that as faster gets an object, as more the object jumps through the space. This is where it does not jump, and here it jumps. This is the value delta x together as a summation, and this is the value of the asymptotical free space. This means here is it not existing, and here it is existing. So this means as faster an object gets, as less it is it is existing. 2 minutes left. Okay. So, and then we can say that the distance that an object passed and on which it is not existing is getting higher. The light velocity has the non-existing distance of the diameter of the universe, which is this here. Okay. And this value here and this can be both. Can be small values here or the whole values here. The asymptotical free distances here. In the Lorentz transformation we get the distances here on the vertical axis, and for the hyperspace we get the values here for the horizontal totality, the space. And that being both, we have a transformation about the entropies, whether the space is vertical or whether the space is horizontal. And then we have this transformation here about the entropies. Okay, this means now that time is not relative, time is absolute, as 1 second, and this here is always 1 second. This also is subdivided and not in any kind related, elongated. This subdivision is a virtual time, we will see. Okay, this is I want to explain, and that there's a transformation between space contraction and the asymptotical free distance. Okay, bye. Have a good day.